Hello everybody, B.Jr. here, back in the cave. I think I'll do a famous quote today. In the words of the one and only Rick James, it's a celebration. That's right guys, it's a horror celebration today. Because I did get my hands on the one, the only, the infamous horror classic, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Tobe Hooper's classic from yesteryear. This is the 40th anniversary 4K, boys and girls. Down with the 4K scan transfer here. We'll get more into this in just a moment in more detail. And I pulled out my current editions that I have. I actually have this on Laserdisc still, and it's in storage. I didn't want to get it out for the video today. I thought I would keep it digital and up. Laserdisc is analog, pretty much like VHS and all that. I'm not going to get into that today, but I don't own this movie on VHS anymore. But I am on the lookout to add the maybe the Wizard, the collector's item, the Wizard VHS that's sought out by many horror buffs abound, and or the media home entertainment with that cool, Sally's face and Gunnar Hansen on the front there. Maybe something like that one day for the collection. That's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about primarily the 40th anniversary Blu-ray that I've picked up from local Wally Mart recently. It was $14.99, I believe. That's kind of B.Jr. prices. I did not get the Black Maria Truck Edition. That's way out of my price tag. And I did not spring for the 4-disc edition with the steel door kind of thing that comes out. I love that edition. I've enjoyed you guys out there in the horror movie community. I've enjoyed your reviews of that. But for different reasons, I just didn't feel the need to buy even that edition. I just got the 1-disc Blu-ray. It was perfect, nice and neat for B.Jr.'s needs. Let's get into it here, guys. As you know, this movie is about like The Evil Dead. It's out on a lot of different editions. You can buy it on, to fit your price range. There's tons of, there's an Elite DVD, there's the Dark Sky DVDs, there's the VHSs, there's the Laserdisc. You name it, it's out there. There's tons of different versions of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We're not in any danger of losing this film in the annals of history. Trust me. What I wanted to do today primarily is kind of, at least for the Dark Sky editions, that I wanted to tell you how they differed in quality and style and all that kind of stuff. Just kind of going over the editions that I still own. This is actually a 4-disc edition, so technically I already have a 4-disc edition. This is a German box set that I won in a contest on here on YouTube some time ago. It has a Blu-ray and DVD and tons of special features on it. It's got a booklet in there as well. Pretty cool stuff. As most folks know in the U.S., the popular one, the go-to edition for the last couple of years has always been the Gold edition, as it's come to be known. This is the 2-disc DVD steelbook that Dark Sky put out. This is dubbed to be the Ultimate Edition. Tons and tons and tons of special features on this, guys. It's got a very, very, very clean transfer on this, guys. Even the DVD looks really great. It retains a little bit more grain than the Blu-ray did. But that could be to the advantage because, as you know, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is one of those movies that I understand. I understand the need to watch this on a gritty, greasy, grimy VHS copy because sometimes I go through that where I just want to see Evil Dead on VHS. I want to see Texas Chainsaw Massacre on VHS with all the little lines run through the speckles, the cigarette burns, and all that stuff. I want to see all that dirty content, that gritty, grimy atmosphere. But there's that other side of me that has embraced the Ultimo format of Blu-ray goodness, guys. So this is actually, these steelbooks were going for like $5 a piece at Best Buy and Wally Mart. I initially had said, well, I wasn't going to buy this. I just went ahead and bought the Dark Skies Blu-ray initially, but I saw these for $5, so I picked this up too because it is a steelbook and there's just some movies that you got to have every edition of, guys. So just a few anymore, because like I said, guys, I'm in that mode now where I'm very skeptical about what I buy in the cave, and I'm not going to be buying every edition out there of it, just of every movie. Just certain movies, though. I like to spring for the little extras. The Blu-ray did have an exclusive featurette, Off the Hook with Terry McMinn, that was not on the 2-disc DVD, that, to my knowledge, but both of them share the rest of the special features are the same. Now, how does the new edition differ from this Ultimate Edition? How can we get more Ultimate than this Ultimate Edition? In terms of special features, all the special features that are on these were carried over to the new 4-disc edition that has the bonus Blu-ray and bonus DVD in there. There is also a bare bone, or not a bare bone, but just like a single disc DVD of this as well. I probably don't recommend picking that up because you're buying this for a special reason. Let's get into that. Now this edition, the Blu-ray, especially of the Gold Edition, the Ultimate Edition, this is crystal clear. I mean, this is the way that most Blu-ray collectors want to view this film, that are high-def buffs, high-def fanatics. If you want to see it with no specs whatsoever, no grit, no grime, this is the way to go, okay? But now, there's a trade-off with that. You didn't notice it before you got this new 40th anniversary 4K scan edition, but now that I've had that and I've watched that last night, I can tell you the difference is between this one and that one mainly is the colors and the grit and grain. Now when I say grain, it's natural grain that was on the 16mm print, because if I understand it right, this was taken from 35mm elements and or 16mm elements, and they just kind of got the best print they could and cleaned up the best they could. So if you're in the market to see it with no grit, no grain, kind of muted colors a little bit, and best viewing experience possible as far as sound and everything, this is probably still a good go-to edition. I don't see anything wrong with it. Even the DVD looks really great. I'm going to still push the DVD of this one too. So there again, just kind of, you know, they gave you a good, you know, reversible cover art with the discs there and everything on this one. So you can't go wrong with these editions. But you're going to get more special features if you buy the 4-disc edition or the Black Maria Truck edition than you would on this. Plus there's new commentaries on the new 40th anniversary edition, as I understand. I know there's some new stuff on there, but I got to be honest, guys. Texas Chainsaw Massacre goes way back with me. There's the inside of the Steelbook 2-disc DVD edition. I live, eat, and breathe this movie every year. I watch it at least 3 times a year. I grew up with it. I watched it on CED disc that's the way I first viewed it. Later on VHS and everything. I've even been to Ground Zero. I feel very fortunate, not bragging, not tooting my horn or anything, but if you've watched my prior videos, there is a photo slideshow and a couple video clips, and there are 2 separate locations videos where I went to the Ground Zero. I went to just about all the existing Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you know, locations that are in this movie down in Texas. They're all in and around Round Rock and Austin, Texas area. So get online, find those locations, but always ask permission if you're going to go to them, guys. Now, that's why I say I didn't really need the spring for the extras, and that's kind of my reasoning. I had an Ultimate Edition with just about all the stuff you ever needed to know about that film. Plus, I've been there and done that so long now. This was fine with me. This just fit my pocket, my bank. It was good for me. It was my decision, man. I did it for me. I'm sorry, guys, but this was the right one for me. It is a single disc Blu-ray edition of the 4K scan 40th anniversary Blu-ray. Same one you're going to get in your 4-disc, but it doesn't have the bonus disc with it. But it does have the 4 featured commentaries with writer, producer, director Tobe Hooper, actor Gunnar Hansen, cinematographer Daniel Pearl, and then then you got actors, you know, got snipped in there: Marilyn Burns, Alan Danziger, Paul Partain, production designer Robert Burns. A new commentary that's on the new edition as well. New commentary with writer, producer, director Tobe Hooper, which I'm looking forward to checking out. I have not checked that out yet. I heard it's pretty good. New commentary with cinematographer Daniel Pearl, editor J. Larry Carroll, and sound recordist Ted Nicolou. It's got a slip cover, pretty nifty little different art there, guys. Not everybody's got this art because you bought the other edition. There again, this is more basic, but it does kind of retain the original look of Leatherface running down the road. It is the same art on the inside there. So basically what you're getting is a bunch of commentaries with it, and just a really kick-butt transfer. Now, a word on this transfer and how it differs from the Gold Edition. Let's go the other way. Does this one look as clear and crisp as the Gold Edition? Humbly, no, it doesn't. This one looks more gritty, and it looks a little more grainy, but hold the phone. Let me speak first, guys, before you run away from the video. The reason why I say that is because you got to know the backstory on this edition. It does have, of course, an ad in here. I digress. For Black Maria, there's your Black Maria ad for the truck. Spend your money. There you go. Got a little reversible art on the inside there, with the ever popular Terry McMinn scene where she walks in front of the camera there underneath the swing. Pretty cool stuff, guys. Pretty cool stuff. But getting back to the point, this one is not as crystal clear as the Gold Edition, in my humble opinion. but it's for a good reason. Whenever you do a 4K scan of a 16mm negative, well, understand the original film elements of this have never been transferred before this edition. The edition we had before was from just the best elements that they had available on either 35mm that was blown up from the size of 16mm, so forth. I don't know all the technical specs and how that works, but this is the first time they've actually found, I think they found, the word around the campfire is they found the original elements of this film in an old paper bag or a box in the back storeroom at New Line Cinema, of all places, I think. And what they did was they went back to basics and kind of did the Jaws kind of style restoration where they did a 4K scan of the film. The colors in this film are awesome. That's where this film really shines. The colors in this film look vibrant. They look like the film should look from a 16mm print on a big wide screen. That's where the other edition, unless you had this edition, you're not going to know the difference, if that makes any sense whatsoever. The colors look 10 times better in this film, in this 40th anniversary edition, the 4K scan. The sound is a bit muffled, and the soundtrack is supposedly like a new vamped edition of the original mono English track. So what you're getting is the old school, you're getting more of an old school kind of, this is the way it looked in 1974 when it came out edition. So this is probably, if you want the full edition, it still retains that natural grain of the way they shot it and the way it looked when it was on the movie theaters, you know, on the movie theater sound stages and everything back in the day, drive-in movie theaters. That's what this looks like. And it looks great. It looks great because it feels gritty. This is the one that I think a lot of purists were always, you know, a couple of my buddies were always like, I can't watch that movie on Blu-ray. I can't watch the gold edition. I just can't watch it. I have to watch it on DVD because I got to get some grain in there. It just takes away from the experience. This is the one you want to buy. Now there, that took 12 minutes to explain, but this is the one you want to buy then. If you were wanting that old school feel, with it looking as good as it can be, with it retaining the original film elements and feel of that old gritty mono track, the colors are 10 times more vibrant than the other edition. But now if you're a HD buff and you got to have every speck taken off of your film, every color tinted just to the right measure with no grit, no grain, no lines, and no nothing, this is the one to go for. That's where these two differ from, guys. Now, they're both put out by Dark Skies. Now, I could be totally wrong. Don't shoot me if I am. But that's just what B.Jr. has seen in comparison here in his own little movie cave. So, hands down, any of these editions will do from this point on. Any of these Blu-ray editions that are from foreign markets, or even the Dark Sky DVD Steelbook edition, this will get the job done in a gritty nature, but you're going to be missing out on the high def glory that is the 4K scan. I humbly submit, if you want to see it as it is supposed to be watched, watch this edition right here. If you are a high def nut that has to have everything clean on your table, watch this edition right here. This has been your Blu-ray comparison overview of the Dark Sky editions, the new edition, and the one from a couple years ago by B.Jr. and B.Jr.'s Movie Cave. Rock on, guys. I hope this has been informative or even halfway enjoyable. Take care, and we're getting ready for the Halloween season. Stay tuned. Rock on. Bye.